Joining me now is Sol Wisenberg, former deputy independent counsel. Sol, where do you stand here, given what seems to be a building, real dossier of information showing Joe Biden's ties to Hunter and his business dealings? Is this the best time now to proceed with impeachment proceedings against Joe Biden?
Laura, I agree with you, and I don't think we're quite there yet. I do think there would be real danger of a backlash, and there would be sympathy for President Biden. But we're getting closer with every new revelation that comes out, and the Devon Archer looks like it's the latest. And you have a number of things. You've got. I want to make one point really clear. The president and his defenders keep saying he never interfered in the Hunter Biden investigation. Every time he says, I'm confident my son has done nothing wrong and he'll be cleared, he interferes. When he came and gave a social call to the Delaware U.S. Attorney's Office when his son was being investigated, that's interference. When his two handpicked political U.S. attorneys, one in Washington, D.C. and one in Los Angeles, turned down David Weiss and said, we're not going to let you prosecute Hunter Biden in our district, that's political interference. So as these things build up, we're getting closer to that point, but I agree with you, there's a real danger of moving too quickly. Investigate all you want, don't necessarily call it an impeachment yet.
Speaker McCarthy was discussing his call for this potential impeachment inquiry earlier today. Watch this.
You have the president saying one thing that we've proven is not true. You've got IRS whistleblowers saying something when it comes to government treating the Bidens different. You've got an informant claiming that the Biden family had been bribed. Should you ignore that, or you should investigate that? The only way you can investigate that is through an impeachment inquiry.
Saul, is that the case? I mean, to get to the facts that are needed in this case, even deeper, maybe more closely bank records tied to Joe Biden himself or other family members, do you need that inquiry to go forward?
Well, you obviously do not, because Congressman Comer has been incredibly successful in finding the bank records and show all the laundered money that went to the Biden-related LLCs. So you can do a lot. But I do think it's very important and significant that the president has said for 2 years he never discussed business with his son, an obvious falsehood that they're now pulling back on. And, on this question of co-location, that's a great area. This question of the WhatsApp call where Hunter says, I've got my dad sitting right here with me. This is a great example of the intersection of possible impeachment and the interference, because the agents, remember, the whistleblowers said, can we just do co-location and find out? We can find out if they were really sitting next to each other at that exact time. And no one will ever know. The press will never know. That's routine law enforcement. And the DOJ prosecutors said, no, we're not going to do that. No reason for that at all.
And Saul, do you also have a problem with the fact that Leslie Wolf, the assistant U.S. attorney, was such close pals with the Biden political person who was working in the same U.S. attorney's office, this Alexander Mackler, who had practically had every position throughout Biden's entire, recent political career, all the way from back to the Senate?
I have a problem with this case, and this falls on former Attorney General Barr, and I'm a huge fan of his, but this never should have been sent to Delaware, and it was A.G. Barr who originally sent this tax investigation to Delaware. There was no venue there. It's a little tiny incestuous district and office. And given the power of the Bidens, how everyone is connected to the Bidens there, it was a huge mistake. So I think the relationship with her is just indicative of that problem.
Saul, really quickly, the plea deal with Hunter tomorrow, do you think there's a chance the judge would say no to that plea deal given everything we've learned?
There's a chance, and I certainly would hope that she would hold off and ask for a little bit more facts. People forget this. This was done in the Enron investigation. Andrew Fastow's wife, they cut a plea deal for her, and the judge down there, David Hittner, said no. I'm not going to accept this deal because it controls what kind of sentence I can give. So look very carefully. It's outrageous to me that we have still not seen the terms of the plea deal. The plea hearing is a day away. We need to know what those are. Those will tell us a lot.
Insane, but predictable, really, Sol. Thank you. Great to see you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.